I was really fortunate. When I was 19 years old, I met a wonderful gentleman who was very successful with his family. He was very successful giving to charities. He was very healthy. He was very gentle and kind. And he really wanted to do good in the world, not just for himself, but to make the world a better place. And he started to teach me that the reason I was getting into trouble, the reason I wasn't getting great results, was what I believed about myself. And he taught me the power of my beliefs. He taught me the power of, what I do every single day matters. He taught me the power of the intelligence in the universe, that I could utilize my brain like a radio sends a signal out into the universe. He said, you could send a signal out using the power of your thoughts. He says, but you're also capable of receiving information, just like the great inventors, whether it was Albert Einstein, whether it was Edison, Michelangelo, any of the great inventors. They had these ideas that came to them, and they were just normal human beings, but they took advantage of the messages that they were getting in their hearts and their intuition.
Wow.
And so he taught me some of the power of the brain, and by using what I learned that I could achieve a lot more than I ever thought was possible when I was younger. And so now I want to take what I've learned for 33 years and teach it to other people to make the path for them a little bit easier.
Yeah, great. And how did you meet him?
He was actually a client of my brother. My brother's a tennis pro, and he used to play the professional pro circuit. And when he came back from playing the pro circuit when he was in his early 30s, he got a job at a tennis club, and this man was one of his clients at the tennis club.
Wow.
And my brother said, hey, listen, you're getting in a lot of trouble, and maybe if you talk to this man, he can help you. And so I went to meet with this man, and he asked me, why do you think you're getting in trouble? And I said, I don't know. He says, but you're getting in trouble. I said,
You were conscious about your trouble?
Yeah, I was getting into a lot of trouble. I was getting into a lot of trouble, and I was doing some very dangerous things that I could have either died or gone to jail for. And when he started to share with me, to teach me that my entire reality was based on what I believed was real and what I believed was true about myself and about what's possible, and that I could change that, that's when my life started to change. And he said, if you start to change the way you think, and you start to learn every day for 1 hour to upgrade your knowledge and your skills, and then you take action every day on the things that are the most important instead of all the different things that you can do. He says, if you focus on doing 3 to 5 things every day towards your goals, he says, in 1 year, you'll be at a totally different destination. 3 years, big distinction. 5, 10 years, your life won't be the same. And I was tired of living a mediocre to less than mediocre life. And so I said, listen, you seem to have a good plan and a good path. You're making millions of dollars, you're giving a lot of money to charity, you're happy, you're healthy, you've got a great family. I want that. And he said, if you want that, follow the blueprint. Don't try to figure it out, just follow the blueprint. And that was another lesson that he shared with me, is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
Like if you want to fly right now, you don't have to figure out how to fly. There's already a blueprint for how to generate or create an airplane.
Yeah.
So if you want to be healthy, there's already a blueprint. If you want to make more money, there's already a blueprint. If you want to buy real estate or the stock market or start a business and grow a business, there's people before us that have already got the blueprint. And all you have to do is paint the numbers inside the box, and then you can use your creativity. So I just became a very good follower for a long time of things that worked. And when you follow things that work, it's like having the combination to a safe. If somebody gives you the combination to a safe and they tell you turn this way a little bit, 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 then open it, you can have access to it. But most people don't look for the combination, and then even when they get the combination, they try it in the wrong order. I was taught the law of attraction, I was 23, 24 years old. Also at a real estate conference, they were talking about this law of attraction thing, that there's this energy, everything's made up of energy. I am energy, you are energy, and my thoughts, create this resonance between what I attract and what I don't. I'm like, well, good, I like that. I want to attract more of the good stuff, right? And so I bought in. I bought into stuff that just made sense to me, but then I was a voracious student. I wanted to understand how. Explain to me how it works. If somebody tells me visualize, I go, why? How does it work? If you ask me to visualize, why does it work? Why should I invest my time on that versus something else? If you're asking me to use affirmations, how specifically, why, how does it work? If you're asking me to emotionalize, well, what's happening in me that tell me I need to create these false senses of feelings? I want to know why it works. Think about the era that our parents lived, okay? Great Depression, right? Very, very hard to make money, very, very hard to find resources, very, very hard to do anything unless you're a professional. So our parents said to most of us, if you don't become a professional, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle and suffer. And even the professionals said, okay, so become a professional and here's your ceiling of what you have. So we became conditioned to be worried of scarcity in a world that has no scarcity. We became conditioned to having certain beliefs about what's possible or not possible. So even now, as we're sitting here and we've got this, amazing election time.
Crazy.
One of the things I've been thinking about is, there are some people that believe that if Donald Trump wins, they're going to make a fortune, and there's other people that think they're going to lose everything. And I have a friend of mine who has got about $70 million in the bank that believes that if Hillary gets into office, he's going to lose millions. Wow. It's going to be really tough. And what really is, going on in people's heads? It's all of their references, their beliefs, and their perceptions that are locked away in the implicit part of their brain that is driving those thoughts and even the behaviors.
They may not even be aware of it.
They're not even aware of it, yeah. They can be, but they may not be. And so what we really have to go back to focus on is it really makes no difference who becomes president or who doesn't. If you have the belief that regardless of what happens in your external world, you can navigate towards the success that you want. Right. That's a belief. And beliefs are the lens by which we actually see the world and by which we behave. And so if you want to change your results, don't focus on changing your behaviors, change your focus on the beliefs that drive your behaviors.
So if someone's listening right now and they're thinking, there's a lot of things I want. I want to get out of this relationship, or I want the relationship, I want to have better health, I want to have more money, whatever it may be. And they've been saying that for years, and they feel like they've been consuming all the information they need to have, but they haven't been able to take action. Maybe because their why isn't powerful enough. What would you say should be their first step?
Well, the first step is to take one thing. I'm going to go back to one thing and say, great, let me move one thing forward. Why? Because that just changes the trajectory of the same pattern repeating itself. And as soon as you interrupt a pattern, and then you repeatedly interrupt the pattern, it's like taking a detour. And as soon as you take a detour one day, you're like, okay, that was okay. But your tendency is to want to go back to what's comfortable. But if you take the detour 2 days, 6 days, 7 days, we know from a neuroscience perspective, it takes about 66 days to create a solid enough neural pattern that it'll go from conscious effort and thinking about it to a non-conscious pattern that has the beginnings of automaticity happening without your involvement. You're just doing it. And so for me, what I do, and for myself, is whenever I want to change something, whether it's a habit, whether it's a thought or emotion or a behavior, I say I'm going to work on this for 100 days. Not 30 days, not 21 days, not 66, which is right around there. I say 100 days. Yeah. And then I focus all of my energy just on that one thing for 100 days. Why?
Can you give an example of something you've done?
Sugar.
Sugar.
I'm a sugar.
Me too.
I'm a sugar. Like if he was an alcoholic, I'm a sugaraholic.
Me too.
Right?
It's so bad.
Yeah. So I go like a week, 2 weeks no sugar.
Yep.
Then a month I eat dessert every night. Then 90 days.
Me too.
Like a cake and cookie and 5 of them a day, and then
The same way. I can be very disciplined, but it's either way.
Yeah, I'm extreme. I'm an extremist as well, right? So it's all or nothing, high or off. It's like no in between. Right?
If you have one, you're having 10.
Yeah, I don't have one cookie. If there's only one cookie, I go no. Can I have like 6 or 7 more? My cookie bills at hotels are $21, not $3.
So keep replenishing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So you take one thing, just one thing that you know, maybe a little challenging.
100 days.
100 days, just 100 days. So let's say you want to drink more water. 100 days, a glass a day. Conscious effort to 1 a day. Whatever you did before, you'll still do, but 1 glass a day. So, I started that with my assistant. So I want to drink, like 4 of these a day,
Right.
like, 32 ounces, whatever the case is. And so we got a mug, and it's on my desk every time I walk in. And then I have some support from her saying, hey, remember to drink your water. So just do it. So the first, 2-3 weeks, I feel like I'm going to drown myself with so much water. But then it's like, okay, now I'm used to it. Now I'm drinking as much water as possible because the habit is there. And one of the rules that I love to follow is the habit is more important than the intensity at first. So don't worry about the intensity. Develop the habit. So can you take 1 minute a day to focus on how you will achieve a goal? Just 1 minute a day. Can you take 1 minute a day to focus on your health? Yeah. Can you take 1 day to retrain your brain? Yeah. Can I take 1 day, or 1 action a day?
Right.
And you start off with something, and reduce it down to just a minute or 2 minutes or 1 behavior. If you can get that behavior to be a habit, it's easy to stack.
Right, of course.
It's just like the foundation of a building.
Sure.
Once you have the foundation, if you build it right, you stack.
Yeah.
And so every good discipline affects another, and every bad discipline affects us.